黄鹤楼好玩吗？
黄鹤楼不好玩。
不好玩吧？我老婆是武汉人。
你老婆是武汉人。
那我是武汉人。
And then back. Well, so we've walked all the way from there, across a bridge, up and around over here. I think I've earned myself a good lunch. 你去过桥吗？刚刚走过了。啊？我刚刚走过了。
你刚刚走过了？
从汉阳那边走过来了。
哦。走了多久？
还比较久。还蛮好玩的，风景很漂亮。
你讲这个话讲这么好。
我老婆是中国人。
哦。
你们是在这边旅游吗？还是？
是。我们来旅游。
哦，哪里人呢？
我们。
累了吧？
我们从香港过来的。
哦，香港。哦。
那你从哪来的？
我是新西兰的。
啊，新西兰。
新西兰。
哇，在英国了。哦。英国。
原来是英国的殖民地吧？
哦，
对。
帮我影张小样子的，给你照张相吧。
啊，行，可以。
哎，谢谢你。
好，不要紧。好，你们玩得开心。
有没有小孩啊？
有2个。
2个啊？2个，
但是他们现在跟我岳父岳母在一起，他们走这个桥太累了。
哦，那你还要回去吗？
回新西兰吗？对，5月份回去。
啊，你太太呢？
她跟她的朋友们一起去吃饭呢。
哦。因
为我们5年没回来。
哇，5年没回来。
因为疫情嘛。
啊，你太太也在那边。
她在那边工作，对，跟我一起工作。对。可以，你们在。
照一张相，谢晚哈。耶。
谢谢。你们什么时候走了？
我们9号。
9号。哦，你们刚刚去黄鹤楼吗？还是？
黄鹤楼
去过了。
我们那一天的时候。
下雨啊
！6号有去下雨啊！
下雨了，
对。
还要买票，要不要去东湖啊？
东湖我好几年前去了的，还可以，那边的风景也还可以。
我们昨天去了嘛？
你们昨天去了东湖？怎么样？
去墨山，
是吧？
很漂亮，
坐那个船。
你们觉得黄鹤楼好玩吗？
黄鹤楼不好玩。
不好玩吧？
不好玩。
是假的。
就是爬上去。
对。
他们说还要买票。
买票多少钱呢？
他们说买票好像70块钱吧。70。我们没有进去，我们就在外面。
没进去，真的不好玩，我去过的。
这个不值得去。
真的，武汉人都不去。
对呀。你长得很帅呀。
对呀。
不帅。
不高啊。
那你们准备过桥，然后干嘛呢？
我们想去那个桥上转一转，照一下相啊。
对。
但是他走车啊，他那个人走可以吗？
可以走，但是就是小心那个电动车。对。
啊，你好高啊！
太高了。好，你们去逛逛吧。
好了，再见，
拜拜，小心。
拜拜。Right, those guys are going across the bridge. If I'm not mistaken, they said they came from Hong Kong. Their Mandarin's really good if they said Hong Kong. They opted not to go up the Yellow Crane Tower because the tickets at 70 yuan. A bit expensive, so yeah, we'll make a decision about whether we go to the Yellow Crane Tower another time. Well, I said I wanted to get some food, and I inadvertently came to this place called Hubu Alley, which is like Wuhan's most famous little street food vendor street, if that makes sense. So we should be able to find something to eat here. 有汤包是吧？
哎，有汤包，
来一笼吧。
汤包有选择的啊，选择哈。
好，没问题。
对啊，中文还说得蛮好的啊。你们学生还中文不好啊？
这里看到在我们这边待了好多年了。
我老婆是武汉人。
啊，你老婆是武汉人。
那我是武汉人，那还说得不好。这个中文真说得到位呀。
那个汤包多少钱呢
？20块钱
，20。对。
肯定有10年的功底了，那不得止吧？10几年。
我住在这边8年了，但是现在已经不在武汉了。
在哪里去了？
在新西兰呢，我的国家。
回老家去了。那我老婆也带走了。
对啊。我可以做的吗？
可以。
我老婆带着新西兰去了。
你们现在生意怎么样呢？
好多了，
好多了。
比的前几年好太多了。
是不是疫情的时候都不能开门呢？
哎，不能开门。
那你们怎么办呢？
不能开门，在家里待着呀，待着呀。
不像你们国家有福州，我们没有。
新西兰也是
关的，
关的，都不能开门。
他们国家还给他们旗的，我们中国没有。
我们还没给得起啊，那么给得起，那么给得起。好了。
都是自己吃自己的。
刚才说不是没给起吗？给起的呀，每个不都送的。对呀，每个小时你都发了鱼啊、肉啊，还有鱼啊、肉啊、菜呀都发呀。我们是我们人多的，他发不过来，他不能天天发，懂得吗？
别个美国给他们给钱，他们。
别个一个国家也在7万人，你一个武汉4个地嘛上千万人，是我们照顾过来。
他们国家很少，
对不对？
他们那个
你都
国家
不能比的。
是的，他们那个国家是家家都楼房、小花园，那里园子是吧？
大部分是的，对。
对，家家都是院子。
但是不像武汉这么方便呐、我在武汉，
那是
我有地铁，我有公交，
对，
想去哪就去哪，很方便。
然后住在家里有人有外卖呀，什么都有送。
对呀，对呀。
他们就不要自己私家车是吧？
自己，他们全靠自己。
自己开车啊是吧？
非要自己开车。
自己开车
那个公交车在我们那边特别不方便。
但是你们那边生活很慢呐。
生活很慢，
对，
安静。
对，
所以
慢节奏
有好处，但是
也有坏处。
对，
但适合老人。
对，养小孩子的老人还蛮好，
那就很好。年轻人在那里住不惯。对，
我有5年没有吃这个东西，5年，新西兰没有卖的。
没有啊？
没有。
那里没有卖，自己做呀。
我老婆会做饺子，但是不会做这个东西。好，谢谢。Right, for lunch, I got myself some of these things. They're called which means, I guess, kind of like soup dumplings. It cost me 20 kwai, which is a bit of an extortionate rate, but we're on this big touristy street, so everything, the prices are a bit higher. Inside, there's some broth. These things are pretty good. You have to, they don't cook them until you order them, so they're never just waiting around because they're pretty fragile. You can kind of drink the soup from them if you're game, like through a little hole. A little bit of vinegar and some spicy chili sauce. Dip it into the sauce and then bite. Whoa! And try not to spill any on your pants. Pretty nice. You can see the soup just pouring out of there. It's a bit of an art form. To cook them with the broth kind of sealed inside. Pretty satisfying. It's just like a different texture when you've got this hot dumpling like thing in your mouth. When you bite into it, the broth just kind of spills out everywhere. If you can get a little hole into it, you can dip it into the sauce that's in the chili sauce, and the vinegar goes in with that broth that's in the dumpling. It's pretty nice. A long walk to get here, but I think worth it. Right, I'm not sure if the price I paid at 20 kwai for 8 soup dumplings was the foreigner price or just this street price. I like to think it's this street price because, as I said, this is a tourist location, so the prices are all marked up. These are not your everyday customers. People don't just come here every day during their lunch break for lunch. This is people come specifically to try the stuff which is on this street. I probably could have got something a little bit more exotic there. They had all kinds of stuff, but those soup dumplings are things that you can't get just everywhere. So at least I just didn't go with something boring like a bowl of noodles, which I can get anywhere. Right, now that we've eaten, let's head down to the wharf, which should be at the end of this street, hopefully, and we'll go see what that bridge we just crossed looks like from below. We'll look back up at it, and then someone even might be swimming there. I've seen people swimming in that area of the river before, but we'll go have a look. You can see the river is kind of like a greeny brown. It's actually not as different from the Han River as I thought it was gonna be. But there's so much silt in the water. When we walked on the sand on the other side of the riverside, you could really see this kind of dark brown sandy stuff, which is on the riverbed essentially. So all that silt moves its way down the river and gives the river this kind of, yeah, not the most attractive color I've ever seen, but pollution may be a factor as well. I'm not sure. There's certainly a lot of factories and whatnot alongside the banks of the river, but there you go. Yangtze River water. That dude is swimming this way and he's getting nowhere. Rather him than me. Because he's got a little orange floaty to help him keep afloat. Here's our swimmers. 冷不冷？
不冷。
不冷。我都不敢进去。
我还不是第一次下。
是吧？
不冷啊。
So that's the bridge, folks. That is the bridge. We walked all the way from that side, across and down. You can see all the traffic's going across the top, and trains go on this lower level here. I've been here about 10 minutes and I haven't seen any trains go by, so oh well. Trust me, trains go on there as well. But yeah, first Yangtze River bridge done. I can actually see there's another bridge there, and in the distance, you guys might not be able to make it out, but there's another bridge even further down. So yeah, that's the bridge, but we're not done. Apparently less than 400 meters from here, there's a tomb, and we had a hell of a time trying to find a tomb yesterday. Hopefully this one's a bit more straightforward. The map tells me go around the corner and we should be there. So let's go see if we can find this tomb. Then we'll head back across the river, go home. We might take a boat this time. Interestingly, where we are standing now, just under the bridge, is where the original Yellow Crane Towers used to be. There's some karaoke going on over there, but yeah, so the current location for the Yellow Crane Tower is not the original location for the Yellow Crane Tower, which is one of the reasons that it kind of seems a bit fake. We may head there at some point, but yeah, that's where the OG one used to be. Have I mentioned that Chinese elderly don't just like sitting around the house? There you go. I feel like I'm about to walk into somebody's back garden. Is it this one? This looks promising. I don't think this is the right one. This says something about martyrs. Right, this one's a monument to some guy named Chen Dingyi, but I don't know who that is. But over there, I reckon that might be our guy. The guy who I actually know who he is. This is our guy, Chen Youliang. Chen Youliang. Who's Chen Youliang? Good question. I'm glad you asked. It's kind of an interesting story with this guy, because he was one of the would-be emperors of China. Sadly for him, he lost the war to take over from the Mongol Yuan dynasty when they were coming to their end. There were multiple different parties vying for control. Chen Youliang was one of the most powerful, and he went head to head with a guy named Zhu Yuanzhang from the what would be later Ming dynasty. Chen Youliang is really well known for having a really big navy. Now the navy was lake and river based, but he's known for having these big tower ships. When I say tower ships, ships with a big butt basically that could raise up really high. The advantage of these tower ships was they could pretty much literally just back up, like you imagine a truck backs up to a location to drop off goods, back up to a city wall, and the guys could just go over the top of the walls straight from the ship. So sieges on rivers and lakes became a lot easier for his forces. Now the problem for Chen Youliang with these big tower ships, which were great for besieging settlements and great for getting the kind of high ground to shoot arrows at guys, not that maneuverable. And his rival knew this. The climax of their conflict took place at a lake called Poyang Lake. At that battle, when the wind was blowing towards Chen Youliang's fleet, Zhu Yuanzhang sent in the fire ships, pretty much like kamikaze ships designed to set Chen Youliang's fleet on fire. And being as big and bulky as they were, they couldn't move out of the way. So despite the fact that Chen Youliang actually had a bigger fleet, bigger ships, he still ended up losing. And he came to a pretty brutal end as well, because he copped an arrow straight to the eye, killed instantly. This is the tomb itself. Now there's no body in there. Similar to the last tomb we went to, at best there's going to be some kind of artifacts, most likely clothes in there, but then we have to take into account again the fact that during the Cultural Revolution this was another one of those sites that got destroyed. So the likelihood of there being anything of particular note in there, pretty low. It's good to see someone has still brought him some flowers and is still burning him some incense, plus giving him a cigarette to smoke. Even if he did get an arrow to the eye, still got some love. Right folks, so that's Chen Youliang's tomb, the guy who lost the war with the eventual founder of the Ming dynasty. But now let's head on over back to the river, see if we can get a boat and go home. Looks like we're just in time because these guys are all getting off. So yeah, perfect timing. Downstairs is where all the motorbikes are going, so let's go upstairs. From how many people are out here keen to sit not inside to get a bit of wind in their hair and go across the river? I'm assuming most of these people take the boat instead of the bus or the subway just for the fun of it. That's my assumption. We're waiting about less than 10 minutes, but the engine's just started and I think we are getting ready to go. As the last few people rush onto the boat. Ferry left the port over there at 3 o'clock. It's now about 12 past, so by the time we get off the boat, it should be 1/4 past. So 15-minute ride to get across the river. Not too bad. Lots of chances for people to take photos. So there's the mad rush of people to get off. we'll just go nice and slow. All of that guys yelling at everyone to get off, get off, get off. So maybe we will rush. Well folks, we're finishing back where we started. Not exactly the same spot, but we're back on the northern side of the Yangtze River. A river that's seen a lot. From the days of gunboats, from all the foreign powers controlling their concessions here in Hankou, to Chen Youliang's tower ships 500 years before that, and to today, where there's pleasure boats and barges going up and down the river. But it was a good walk. I've seen some stuff, and I think I have earned a nice cold beer. That says this house has people patrolling? Like guarding it? 有人吗? Creepy.